Previously on Gears.
Right here on Gears Balls Visual Radio, we are so happy to have her in the studio. At one stage, I thought she didn't exist. I thought we were just phoning somebody at random, and I mean, was this girl actually riding a bicycle? She started in Cairo and finished up in Cape Town. It's great to have you in the studio. Thank you so much for coming, Tessa Melck.
Thank you very much.
Have you been to a psychologist?
Not yet, but I think I must go because my parents think I've definitely lost my marbles.
Well, I don't think it's just your parents. Let's just go.
You'll
backtrack.
fit in very well here.
Yeah, you should
don't
come
worry.
work here.
I
You
feel
come
quite
work
at
here.
home, I must say.
Let's go back. What inspired you to take on this incredible adventure? A girl without even owning a bicycle.
That's correct. Yeah, I worked in the yachting industry for a number of years. And basically,
Lifestyles of
in
the
the
rich and the
deceiving lap of
famous.
luxury. Exactly. Yeah, Monaco Grand Prix, it was an often occurrence. And I just needed something real, something really challenging. And I've kind of been a bit of an extremist all my life.
Hold on a second. Just to let you know, the Monaco Grand Prix is very real.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And it
It's
is very loud.
And it's very, very cool as well. And you don't have to pedal anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just get your
But I
definition
wasn't
of
allowed
real
to drive the car. So.
and my definition of real. Okay, so there we go. So you wanted something extreme and real.
Exactly, and challenging. I love being physical, active, and I've always been a sporty person. However, I never cycled my whole life. I just never even owned a bicycle. I visited my brother in London, and he just said, this is the time in your life where you've got nothing holding you back. If there's an adventure you want to do, then you must do it now. And I thought about backpacking through Europe like any other 24-year-old would want to. And I came across the Tour d'Afrique, a cross-continental cycle tour, and it just spoke to me in every language, physically, mentally, emotionally, the biggest challenge you could ask for. And I needed that at the time, and it was the most incredible experience.
I'm sure you've got a photo book that hopefully you're going to publish at least one day.
Yeah, I hope there were people on the tour that took a lot better photos than me, I must admit. But if my story is, favorite, wants to be heard of by many, then I would like to write articles for numerous magazines. Do It Now is a magazine that's interested, so
Great.
I hope to get my story out there, definitely.
Did you keep like a notebook every day? I mean, geez, it must have been the worst thing in the world, finishing 10 hours of riding a bicycle and then having to write something.
I tried. I really did try in the beginning.
Yeah.
Egypt was well documented, but then I got into Sudan, and the exhaustion just gets to you. And then having to write in your diary, in your tent, you can't really tell the story. And then Ethiopia, I fell terribly ill. And I fell so behind with my story and keeping notes that I just thought, I won't forget it. It will be there always.
Well, I mean, listen, we were very lucky to speak to you along the route, over the 4 months, and every week we'd say, okay, we're getting hold of Tessa Melck, and then we'd have to try this phone number, and eventually get hold of you, and then I still cannot believe how you kept your spirits up so high, even when you were through Ethiopia, being very, very ill, and you knew you sort of had to just push on. I mean, your mental capacity is quite extraordinary.
I surprised myself, I must say. Physically, I've never been that exhausted. The body did pack up a lot along the way, but mentally, I felt a lot stronger because I'd found a nice cause that was...
Yeah.
The journey wasn't only my own, what I realized on the way. I did it for myself, but finding make a difference made you realize that there are other people relying on you, and that's a big motivation.
Sure.
And then whenever you get into internet contact, you see the support rising up, and followers are gaining, and it's just and the messages of support. You can't just stop. It's not only your journey. You're taking so many people that are precariously living through you that you just can't stop. And your recovery period after you've cycled for 8 hours is, it's an hour and a half, and then you're feeling fine. And you're surrounded by cyclists that all went through the same torture of the day. But it all seems normal because everyone did 180 Ks that day. So, nothing special in the tour because everyone's doing the distance.
Now, did you take any EPO?
No, nothing.
Like Lance Armstrong.
So how did you recover? I mean, what was there like a set? I mean, as you say, you never knew anything about cycling. You cycle now for 8 hours. I mean, what do? Make a bowl of pasta, lie down, drink water. I mean,
There were times where I pushed hard. When you're feeling good, then I've joined up with a peloton and other stronger riders. Everyone was experienced. I was probably the least experienced rider. Pushed hard. I won a few stages. And when I got into camp, recovery was just, putting your feet up. We always had like a really salty soup. Yeah, and I've never eaten so much in my entire life. And I could always eat more. Yeah, fuel was key. And Ethiopia, I lost a lot of weight because I was ill. And immediately I was like, okay, seconds every day at lunch, every day at dinner, just to pack on the energy. You needed it. Without it, you would be broken. And Herbalife sponsored me a few goods, so that was great. I had some recovery shakes when I was feeling weak.
Now, the thing you were telling us about, one of the hardships of it is not having the ability to have clean water or shower or a bath.
Everyone that knows me knows that I'm a very organized, clean person. I like my showers. I like to be, neat and tidy.
Thank God for that, eh?
And this tour, I think that was my biggest challenge, is to cycle 6 hours in a sandstorm and then get to camp, set up your tent, and all you had was a couple of baby wipes to shower with and clean yourself. I would dehydrate myself sometimes to keep a bottle of water, because we were limited with our water intake when we were in the desert. And I would dehydrate myself and have 1 liter of water to wash myself.
To wash yourself.
Yeah. It's amazing how little you really need.
But Africa isn't exactly
this sounds like your kind of thing, Daisy. I could see you doing this. Not.
Africa isn't exactly the safest place. Did you ever feel nervous or unsafe?
Yes, I must say, Egypt, maybe it was just because it was my first country, and there was an unsettled feeling. We had security for the duration of our trip through Egypt.
Sure.
And they are undergoing a revolution, so a lot of police checks, a lot of guns. You kind of start thinking, it's normal after a while. But yeah, and that was a little uneasy. Sudan was a lovely country. I really enjoyed it. That harshness of the desert, the heat, and the people were very conservative and kind and very humble. They actually thought we were crazy. They just saw colorful people in cycling clothes migrating from the top of Africa down once a year. And then Zambia, we ran into a little bit of trouble, but we couldn't have expected it. It was in a little village called Katete, and there was a protest against the local police of a murder that happened prior to our arrival. And military came in to take control of the situation, and their conception of safe and our conception of safe is very different. So we got convoyed through, and there were, gunshots, people that had been bloodied up. And Kenya was another place where it was a little bit awkward in that sense, because the elections were on.
Okay.
So we got bussed through a lot of northern Kenya with heavily armed security. But at that stage, you were so used to it, it kind of felt normal.
Yeah, it's Africa.
Exactly.
That's what we take.
And everyone was safe and sound, and the organizers were very good to take safety first.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. We're chatting to Tessa Melck. She's staying with us in studio for a little while longer. She had this most incredible epic journey through Africa. We'll get more from her in a short while also, where you can read up on what she was all about, and we'll also find out a little bit more about the charity side of things and whether or not she achieved the objective. So stay listening. With us today, Tessa Melck, and hopefully over the last couple of months you would have followed her either via Twitter or the times that we had her on air about this incredible journey for herself and of course for everybody else that went along with her. Tessa, you as you say, did it for a cause. You found a cause. What was the cause? What is the cause?
Yeah, MAD, Make a Difference. It's a wonderful charity that I found just by chance. My sister, when she heard about what I was doing, she immediately said to me that I was mad, and she constantly says to me that I'm mad. And she got this wonderful idea. She's like, you should build a brand and get MAD and make a abbreviation for it. And I was like, oh, that's a silly idea. And she was like, oh, but you can make it sound like Make a Difference. And I was like, I'm sure something like that exists. And she was like, well, look into it. And I Googled it, and Make a Difference, a charity based in South Africa.
Your siblings seem to be quite pushy.
They are.
Eh?
Not really pushing me into Africa. They were kind of just adding
That's
advice.
good.
I hope you push them as well.
And with that idea in mind, I found Make a Difference. It was 2 weeks before I was leaving, so it was very touch and go.
Yeah.
I had to find sponsors and all that jazz in a matter of a very short time. And got onto their website, read up on it, and immediately I fell in love with it. Francois Pina, obviously, amazing man, one of the founders of MAD.
Okay.
And they're also well connected with Saracens, which is the team my brother plays for. And it all just like the dots just connected. I immediately spoke directly to the CEO. Didn't even give her a chance to speak. I just spoke at her for 10 minutes. And she was like, when can we meet? And I was like, I'll drive into Cape Town tomorrow. And it all just fell into place perfectly after that. I had a bike on from Cycle Lab. Cape Storm was on board with Cycle Kit, and I had an amazing charity backing me.
Brilliant.
And then the exposure also just blew up, and Balls came on board. I was just blown away, and I decided to do it a month before the date to leave. So it was rushed, but it's the way I like it.
It's just so, it's just an incredible achievement. Now, I know, as you say, you kept your Facebook page updated. Are you still continuing? I mean, are you getting, you're remembering things and then writing them down again and continuing that process?
Yeah, I still have to complete my blog. Unfortunately, I fell behind with that, with lack of internet and exhaustion. But I will keep up my Facebook page, definitely, because I do intend to do another tour. I have South America on my mind, and maybe a solo tour before that of North America, a little bit safer, make my dad happy. And then...
why don't you do the Tour de France?
Wow.
I'm only joking.
I do have the Cape Epic in mind for next year.
Good.
We basically did the Cape Epic once a week on this tour.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, even when the Cape August was on, that's 109 kilometers, about 600 meters of climbing. That day we were in Nairobi, and I decided that day was going to be like my Cape August, and I have my mad cycle top on. But that day was a bit different too. Cape August.
Going up Seikabossi.
We had 1,600 meters of climbing, and it was 165 kilometers.
My word.
I would have jumped for joy if I was home amongst my friends and I cycled 180 Ks. But on the tour, it's just normal to cycle 160.
Okay.
Wait, I want to know, have you been for a massage since you got back?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh my
But
gosh.
a good pedicure was definitely on the cards. I wasn't going to go near my feet.
How's your bum? I mean, it sounds a bit personal.
No, it's a lot better. I was very fortunate. My chamois, my Cape Storm cycle shorts were amazing quality. And I was very religious with my chamois cream. I was every day, twice a day.
This must be pretty painful.
It is a painful event, I must say.
Yeah.
But it's funny. The first 2 weeks was the worst. And then after that, you kind of... you just get used to it. It's part of the ride. It's like your sore knees, your sore muscles, your burning muscles. It's just a sore bum.
Yes.
There was other people on the tour that their saddle sores got infected, and you really had to doctor it.
Yeah.
And they actually had to be hospitalized because of infections and
oh my goodness.
and they had to get drained and all that good stuff. Yeah. Luckily, it never happened to me.
Okay, well, I'm glad.
I only lost a bit of skin when I fell.
Yeah,
and
okay,
had a minor
that's enough now. Yeah,
concussion.
that's enough. Okay. I should never have brought that up. It was a terrible thing. So, listen, we are ecstatic. I mean, I'm just number one, I'm so glad that you made it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because at times we were talking to you, and, she's in Uganda, and she's in Sudan, and I'm sitting there going,
It's far
this
away.
girl is mad. Complete, and and it works. It make a difference. But it seems though very, very well organized.
Absolutely. The tour, if anybody out there is mad enough to do something like this, they do it all over the world. So if you're not keen on Africa, they do North America. They do a silk route through like China and all those places.
Wow.
And it is well organized. We never went to bed hungry. And like hats off to the cooks that had to feed like 60 hungry cyclists. And in conditions where it was, monsoon rainfall and sandstorms in the desert, and they fed us well. Yeah.
It sounds pretty awesome. Well, listen, I'm hoping that you're going to continue with MAD.
I sure will.
Yeah.
My heart is close to MAD at the moment, and if I take another journey, they'll definitely be my beneficiary. Absolutely.
Well, that's wonderful. It's great to have you here. When are you going back to Cape Town?
Friday evening, I shall be flying
So
back.
you got a bit of time, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few more things lined up. Going to do a TV interview with Super Cycling, which is quite exciting.
Brilliant.
And then got a presentation with LegalWise, and going to try and wing it with the corporates and see if I can make some more sponsorship for make a difference. Yeah.
It's just terrific. And please keep us updated with your future endeavors. And of course, especially, I really think you should go about writing some kind of photo book on this experience, because it's quite wonderful.
I think it's a very relatable experience. I am honestly the most normal person there is, and I didn't cycle before.
Yeah.
And I definitely believe that if you are wanting to do it, you can do it, because I did it, and really, I didn't own a bike, and I didn't cycle further than 80 kilometers, and day one was 140, and you just grin and bear it, really.
Well, listen, we're incredibly proud of you. I think it's an outstanding achievement, and please keep in touch.
I sure will. Thank you very much for having me.
There we go. The legendary Tessa Melck in our studio. She is real, and she is back in South Africa after an extraordinary achievement of the Tour de Africa, from Cairo to Cape Town on a bicycle and a little bit of lost skin.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Beautiful.
Gears with Sasha Martinengo on bulls.co.za.